your body, your physical body, doesn't know the difference between Laila crying and Nicole crying, or Laila being mad and Nicole being mad. That's very important to know so that you can know, like, okay, let me get my mentality back to Laila fully when I go home. Every single human is connected by something. So even if you haven't killed anybody, you've experienced hatred, you've experienced love. So I don't think it's good for you to want to connect with the character so much where you're connecting with the killing, but the hatred, the core of that, you've experienced that too.
Who is this?
That? I don't know who that is. He looked real familiar.
This Lil Bow Wow.
Oh.
Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't. What it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton the son, Mr. Boogity All, and I promise, I really do promise, to give good content for the masses, but even more promise, is that even grammatically correct? Even needless to say, I promise to give good funky content for your asses. Now, here with another episode of Funky Friday, and you may know my guest from playing the younger sister of Big Meech and BMF, Nicole Flannery, but her real name is Laila Pruitt. What's good with you?
Hello, how are you?
I am marvelous, marvelante.
I'm crying over the way you just enunciated the mess out of my name. You said,
You have to.
Laila Pruitt.
You know, you just gotta, from one Atlanta native to another one, you just gotta get that, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? I got a little Suh coming to the stage, you feel me? Like, she talented as hell, like,
I get what you're saying,
straight
Shaw.
from
I
Park
get what you're
View.
saying. I get what you're saying, Shaw. I get
She
it.
really twin on God. Like, nah, we just gotta keep the vernacular professional.
Understandable.
Right.
Got it.
So even with that, let's start with that, right? How long have you been in this acting circuit or industry?
I've been acting since I was 5. My grandma, my Gigi, she asked my parents one day, she was like, can I send in Laila and Santana, my brother, can I send in their pictures to an agency? And my parents were like, oh, okay. And she did, and they sent us out auditions. The first audition I ever booked was my very first audition. It was for a Haribo gummy bear commercial. And I was on set, and I was like, this is great. Yeah. Like, this is awesome. And so I just, like, that was the goal, was to keep getting back on set. So I kept doing it.
That's what's up. So throughout this whole transformation of who Laila is, when did you kind of get it? You know, because at one point in everybody's life, it goes from a parent's thought or an adult's thought. They insert you with the want to say, all right, so you gonna be the next Cam Newton. Here, go out there and play football. Mm-hmm. And then he just like, I'm just out here because my dad wants me to be out here. Mm-hmm. But when did you start taking it for yourself to be like, this is something I actually really want to do? That's
a really, really good question. I think it's kind of, with me, it started off innocently, I think, more because I just wanted to be on the set. I just like, the people and meeting other kid actors and stuff. But I think I started getting serious about it when I was about 10. And I booked a featured extra role in The Flight, the movie with Denzel Washington and
you know Denzel?
No is a very strong word, but I met him. Okay. I met him when I was 10, and he was like off to himself. Like, he talked to me, of course, but he was off to himself, and he was like in his character, he was in his notebook, and I was like, why is he over there by himself? Like, he's not talking to anybody here. But then he would get in the scene, and they would say action, and he would be on it. And so I was like, what's that about? That's when I started reading the books and asking myself questions and being like, okay, well, what is a motivation? Like, what's an objective? How do you get, really into a role? Is that a thing? What does that mean? That was when I started really getting into it, was seeing that for myself.
So to that point, right, we talked off camera about potentially describing your acting skill, right? We used examples of method actors, right? I don't know if Denzel is a method actor, but he's a damn good actor. But just to be able to, as soon as a blink of a button, you can just switch it.
Right.
And you're no longer Laila.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You are whoever. How are you able to compartmentalize that? And how long after the cut does it naturally still take over? You know what I'm saying?
For me, I think, it takes a lot of practice to be able to just snap in. I think for some actors, that's just not how their process is. I think for me, where I'm at right now, that's not really how mine is. I kind of got to get off camera in my trailer. I kind of got to listen to my music, my playlists. I got to write in my journal.
She was bumping Lizzo, just FYI.
I was.
So we listening to Lizzo while
Shout out to Lizzo. I'm not listening to Lizzo for Nicole.
Okay.
That's a different vibe.
I got you.
But like, for Nicole, I listen to a lot of NWA, and I know that's West Coast, but it's still like, you know, the kind of vibe.
I see the vintage,
you know what I'm saying?
like,
it's 80s, it's,
yeah.
you know, hip hop vibe, you know. So I listen to a lot of NWA and a lot of 80s rap to get into it. Things that are kind of like gritty to make me, you know, get my sense of anger, because Nicole's not always angry, but there is a sort of anger. Her brothers are always angry. Yeah. But, you know, growing up in the 80s in Detroit, the murder capital, you know, being the sister of the two top drug dealers, you know, that's a scary place. And that can invoke a lot of anger. Like, why am I here? Even if she doesn't know that. Right. So I try to get that in my body a little bit too, and then get in the accent. And I get it off camera a little bit before, and then I try to walk on set, and then during rehearsal is when it solidifies. I'm
curious to know the process of tapping into a better version of Nicole, right? And saying like, did you talk to any family members? Did you read books? Did you read articles? Did you see videos? Like that whole process of what her character was in there, how was you better able to kind of understand, like, I'll say no like this, but she'll say no like nah. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how did you add that to your repertoire?
Yes, that was definitely a lot of research. It was me looking at articles about BMF. That started when I got the audition, because I had, you know, it was COVID time when I got that audition, so I had a lot of time on my hands. I was researching them. I was looking up, you know, the documentaries that had been made about them on YouTube, and the videos of Big Meech and Terry actually that were out there. And so then there weren't a lot of videos or information on their family. So I kind of had to take that information about them and say, how would that affect a family? You know what I mean? How would that affect a little sister, you know, that has to grow up behind them? And then what does that do to parents who are really religious, seeing their two oldest, you know, go down this path? What's that gonna do to the way they treat their youngest? Right. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And then it wasn't until I actually got on set that I met the real Nicole. Shout out Miss Nicole. Love her. She, you know, is very open, always talking to me, and we're always communicating and about, you know, where her head was at during this time, or what she would have done in a situation like this, or in a scene like this. You know, so we're always having open dialogue, and she helps me a lot, actually.
So speaking of on set, who had, like, you grown to, like, that's your set partner, you know what I'm saying? You know, I know for me, I've shot commercials, but nothing long term. You know, take me through not only, you know, who you grew fond over, respectfully, you know, on set. Who's your buddy? Let's start with that first.
Everybody's a buddy. Everyone's really nice. I think I would say Da Vinci, who plays Terry. Yeah. We're like right here. That's really my brother. Right. He is always cracking jokes with me. You know, we're always going to find snacks or, you know, something like that. And then that's the cast member. Correct. And then off on the behind the scenes, Spencer Hutchins, he was one of the camera operators for the first and second season. He is my buddy. That is one of my besties on set. So I'm always right behind him looking in the camera like, what that mean? What's that shot? He let me there's this camera where you control it like a crane with two like joysticks. And he let me do it one time, not for the actual scene, but you know, and so that was cool. It's just dope.
So what's the longest stint of time that you kind of have to stay on set?
I was on set for 12 hours before. I was on set for a full 12. When you turn 18, you gonna be on that set for as long as they need you.
Out of those 18 years, 18 years, find out on the 18th birthday that the kid ain't, whatever. Shout out to Ye, all right? Kanye. What I would say, out of that 12 hours, how much of that is work? Not study, but actual, like, on-camera work.
That really just depends. It depends on how many scenes you're scheduled for that day. It depends on how the day is going. What scenes are just so happen to be taking a long time. That day, I think I was mostly shooting, like a lot. How long is 12 hours? 12 hours.
Number to number.
Number to number. I probably was shooting for like 7. And then the other 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, the other 5, I was probably...
What's your debrief like? Like, that day, I want you to stay in that day. How do you treat yourself? Is it ice cream? Is it like quesadillas?
Sleep. Going in that trailer and sleeping. Or just allowing myself, like, if I have a full hour for lunch, the way that I think about being in character, there's like levels to it. So like when I'm on set and the camera's on, that's full Nicole. Right. But when I'm just in my, when the camera's off and not off, but when it's off and I'm just, eating a snack and I'm waiting, then it's maybe like 70%. When I'm in my trailer, I'm at like 50%. But if I have a full hour for like lunch, I let it go down to like 25% Nicole, just so I can still have it like, brewing.
It's still here.
It's still here. I can pull it back out. But I can also be like, okay, let me eat this meal, let me breathe, let me watch maybe, some TV that's still within the realm of BMF, but that I enjoy, so I can kind of come out of it for a little bit, because I know I'm gonna be here for a while, and then I can pull it right back out and go back on set.
Layla, you still here, girl? You hungry? You hungry? If you want,
how am I feeling
Nicole,
right now?
like, man, listen here. Look, we eating this.
We eating this right now.
Right. I love it. But people don't necessarily understand the level of commitment that comes with this. And, for you, have you been able to compartmentalize or separate business with play? I mean, you're relatively young in this industry that most people, you say starting at 5, we hear all type of stories of people burning out. You know what I'm saying? Giving up the whole acting stage. Hey, man, whatever happened to so-and-so? Yeah, man, I used to love that, but who knows what?
Yeah.
How have you been able to manage keeping work, and just regular life?
I think I was just intentional about it. That's one of the first things. I'm very intentional about when I'm leaving set, I'll put on some music that Layla likes, that Layla enjoys, and I'll, expel some energy, get that energy out, breathe, and understand, okay, that was Nicole. Because that's one of the main things, is that your body, your physical body, doesn't know the difference between Layla crying and Nicole crying, or Layla being mad and Nicole being mad. You know what I mean? So that's very important to know, so that you can know, like, okay, let me get my mental health back right. Let me get my mentality back to Layla fully when I go home. I also am Christian, so I keep God first. I wake up,
you should.
I listen to a sermon every morning and keep Him center. And so that kind of helps ground me as well. Because when there's days where I'm literally running, I haven't sat down in 8, 12 hours, I can be like, okay, the Lord is with me. He's right here beside me. Let's get through this.
That's my boy.
That's my boy. He's right here. Sometimes I do be like, Lord, give me a dap up real quick.
Yeah.
Because I need it.
Yeah.
Okay, back to this.
He'll be up here.
Well, I kind of think of him like right beside me, walking with me. But he sure is up there too.
Okay, I see the visual.
Omnipresence. Look.
Let's get into the game.
All right. Cool. So in this as we transition to the game of this episode, right?
Yes.
It is called True Young Girl, featuring Laila Pruitt. How's it gonna go? So we call this game True Young Boys, but in this case, we'll call it True Young Girls.
Okay,
we are going to test your knowledge of my generation. I'm going to show you images of people and things from the past, and you are going to tell me the name of the person or thing. You have 2 minutes to get 6 correct. Now, I heard you knocked everything out, you know what I'm saying, off camera.
Right.
You got the riddle.
Right.
So let's see if you can still keep that same type of momentum.
I was confident until you said I got 2 minutes.
2
Just
minutes.
2? Okay, all right.
2 minutes.
Let me lock in.
6 minutes.
I'm locked in.
6 minutes in it, baby. Come on. All right, here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Start that clock. Boom. Who is this?
Martin Lawrence.
Say less. What is this?
That's that thing you put on your ankle, right? And then it spins around and you jump it? Is that what that is? I don't know what it's called, but that's what it is. Half a point. See, you are a hater.
Who is this?
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. He looked real familiar. I don't know.
This Lil Bow Wow.
Oh.
Name me a Lil Bow Wow song.
Nah, I'm good.
I know exactly who the hell Lil Romeo is. It's Lil Romeo. It's Master P's son.
Okay.
Boom.
That's cool.
Face sad, man. Come on. What is this?
It starts with a T. That is, wait, no? That's a,
See, I ain't gonna help ya.
T-Rex.
It's okay to say skip.
No, okay, skip, because you're right, because I have 6. Okay, that's an iPod. Skip, I don't know what that is.
Who is this?
I recognize them braids.
Snoop Dogg.
That's not Snoop Dogg.
Oh.
Skip. all that on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It said
Keenan-
name all 3.
That's
Who is
Keenan, that's Kel, and I don't know.
All hell.
I can't-
Keenan, Kel, and all hell.
I can't say I know who.
I don't know who that is
is.
either. What you got?
I've had that before. That's the hard candy that be in your grandmama purse.
In church.
You gonna be behaving?
No, was that
We
6?
can keep going.
Okay.
You probably got 4. I counted 4.
Okay. My lord. My lord. I've had that before too. That's the candy that be in your auntie purse.
Yeah, so your grandma gonna slide you the strawberry cream. Your auntie gonna slide you to just strawberry.
Right.
Now, if that back tooth, if your plate tooth ain't, it's gonna get a little
Stuck
thick.
right there, and then your jaw be like,
You know what I mean?
Just like that.
But you still smiling in folks' face, because at that age, you don't necessarily care about nothing. Who is this? What's the group name? Lord bless your heart.
I have people I want to say, but I don't want to be wrong.
Say it.
Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper.
You said,
That's not salt. No. I don't know who
you said
that is.
Destiny Child.
No, I didn't say that. What?
I heard Destiny.
You making things
Who's
up.
this?
That's the Power Rangers.
Do you know the names of at least
Pink Ranger, Blue Ranger.
Yeah, of course.
Yellow,
But
red-
what are they called? They don't-
I can't tell you all that. I don't know all that.
What is that?
That's a belt,
And what is that?
a switch.
That is a brand. Oh, just teasing. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Give her a round of applause.
But I can even say that switch was wrong because you got to get all the leaves off it, right?
That is facts, but my mama didn't care
Didn't care.
If the
It was
leaf
just, go get one of them.
it would, and it better not be small. Cause if I gotta go down there and snap a whole switch off, I'ma detach the whole tree.
My lord,
Yes, he's mine too.
the whole thing?
I mean, listen.
He's mine too. Is great.
Yeah. So man, I ain't play no games. Growing up, how I grew up, I always was a social bird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how are you able to distinct the characters that you go after? Because I'm hearing, I saw, obviously watching and being a fan of the show, just how that character, that's your culture. You see what I'm saying? In some way, shape, form. Maybe not all the violence, but it was typical African-American household, right? Is there a role that you would love to kind of go after here moving forward?
Yes, I would love to play like a super genius. You know, like a person like
Like Aquila and the Bee.
yes, but more so like a superhero kind of like that they almost like have no emotion. Like, have you seen The Social Network? About Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
Kind of like, he's not a superhero obviously, but kind of like him where he like doesn't
Wednesday.
really get Wednesday, like a little mix of both of them where like they don't really get social cues, but they can tell you everything about 1986. Like they know all the facts about everything.
Right.
I would love to play something like that. I would love to play like a villain of some sort, but like a little sneaky villain. Like you don't necessarily know that they're the villain, but there's something off about them.
But do you think playing that role, it will affect your social, your social personal life? You know what I'm saying?
Like the way I'm perceived?
Yeah. Because the great ones do. I don't think Amari Hardwick, am I saying his name right? Don't nobody know him as Amari. That's Ghost.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's almost a good thing and a bad. It's almost like
Yes.
it didn't take Mike Epps until his adult life until people was like, that's Day. That ain't.
And you know what? I've noticed that. I have noticed that where it's like you kind of get get perceived as your characters. But I think social media kind of helps with that. That's one good thing about social media is that you can be like, who played this? And be like, oh, okay, she funny. You know what I mean? And then I also like to do things, outside of acting too. I love me some acting. That's my first love. But I also love to host. I love to, I'm starting to, touch into vlogging a little bit. Yeah. I'm getting my toe wet with that. But yeah, stuff like that where, I think I'll be able to show my real personality on the outside.
So tell me what role you would never play.
I don't want to box myself like that. I would like to be doing this until, forever, like Cicely.
Right. But I say that, and it comes with, the follow-up is this. I had an actor on here before, and he really put me up on game of him having children. Mm-hmm. So he said, I would never play a pedophile and as a character, Yeah. I will never play an abusive, relationship because I don't condone domestic violence.
Right.
So I never really thought about it. Mm-hmm. But, when you talk about method actors and certain things like this, like to really tap into that essence of hatred or whatever. Like I look at Leonardo DiCaprio's role of Django. Was cool. But I was like, he's saying a little too smooth. Like he putting it, how some people, you go to school with, you be like, bro, you is not used to cursing. You know what I'm saying? But it's some folks that can put that together and be like, oh yeah, they done cursed somebody's ass hot before, you feel me? Right. But it was like on Django, I'm like, bro, Leonardo DiCaprio, bro, he putting that a little too smooth. It's inserting perfectly with his sentences.
In every sentence.
You know what I'm saying? It will bring me to a point to say like, bro, you ain't never, if you don't. You feel me? So for you, it's like, what would you think that you can say like, I can't take my mind to that point?
So I've had conversations about that before with, mentors and teachers. Mm-hmm. The way that my current professor, Nicole Salter, has kind of explained it is that every single human is connected by something. Mm-hmm. We're all humans. So even if you haven't killed anybody, you've experienced hatred, you've experienced love, you've experienced those things. So no, I don't think it's good for you to want to connect with the character so much where you're connecting with the killing. Right. But the hatred, the core of that and the base of that, where that killing came from, you've experienced that too. Mm-hmm. So that is where I think I would have to, as an actor, focus on, is the base of, because those are actions. Killing is an action, a tactic, because you want something from the killing. So that hatred, where that comes from, that's what I would have to tap into if I were to play a murderer, or you know what I mean?
I got one for you.
Okay.
And I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, but since we live in a day and time where you have to be just open to it, could you? I recently seen was it I Want to Dance with Somebody? Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. It was like a biopic, right? Great movie, by the way. I seen the documentary Whitney, and I knew what was going to happen. There was a lot of things that they didn't kind of go into, but I'm curious to know: would you play a lesbian?
I've thought about that too. I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would.
And it's so like the great ones. They make you feel like, hold on.
So here's what I'll say about it. Here's what I'll say.
Keep it a buck now.
I'll keep it a buck.
Yeah.
I would play a lesbian because I feel that story is worthy of being told. However, there are lesbian actors out there that could probably do it a little better justice than I could. That we should probably go to before we come to me.
But
I mean?
But I understand that. But that's almost like saying, I remember I got cast. Honest to God, I think it was I got cast to play a gay role. I'm like, bruh, I'm straighter than the lines in the street, bro. I just couldn't. And I'm not an actor. I never wanted to be an actor. But when my agency reached out, I was like, hey, are you interested in acting? I was like, okay, cool, boom. And then it was like, that's the role. I'm like, damn, that's what they think about me, you feel me? And there's no disrespect to, homosexuals that's out there. Like, boom, it is what it is. We all know one. We all have one in our family. We all are close to one. And I love them for that. But as far as me to take my mind to that, I just couldn't personally do it. You know what I'm saying? But when you're saying tapping into through a realm that will challenge your status quo, challenge your normacy,
Right.
You feel me? It may not be killing, you know what I'm saying? It may not be, giving your kids up for adoption. Like, yeah, that's easy. But what would challenge you in a way where it's like, okay, I gotta dig deep to, my body is telling me, like,
Yes.
Laila's telling me I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But my character has
to
to
do
be
this.
comfortable. And the one thing, as you know more than anybody, those cameras pick up everything. It's like your hands shaking, knees shaking, you nervous, your voice tone changes, you're not as confident as you used to, usually are. So that's the reason why I asked that.
That would probably be someone like a murderer or a bully of some sort, someone who is very, angry at people, antagonistic to people who also don't deserve it. That would be something that was hard for me because then I would have to tap into why they're like that.
Right.
And then look somebody else in the eye and do that real and truthfully. You know what I mean? And that's hard for me. I've been bullied before. It's not fun.
What?
So, yeah, but it's not fun. And so for me to have that knowledge of Laila being bullied, but again, a bully's story needs to be told too because
Correct.
there's a reason why this person is acting like this.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to switch it for the good because you're giving it the platform to say, hey, this is
Acting
a real...
is a service. It is not self-serving whatsoever. It's not necessarily fun to go... We'll stick with serial killing because Dahmer just came out on Netflix.
You must have... I was just about to bring that up. That was exactly something I was going to say. Yeah. Obviously, I didn't think that the actor who played Dahmer was a person who would kill.
And so, just like that, going on set every day and having to look at, even though they're synthetic and fake, look at those body parts and tap into a person who would literally cut up a person. That's not fun,
right.
But it's a story that they felt like needed to be told.
Right.
And, especially the victim stories, that's a story that needed to be told.
And it did an unbelievable job with that. And just to keep the main thing, like for you, it's like, who would you want to work with, that you haven't worked with yet? In your young career?
Lakeith Stanfield, he is so talented to me. Have you seen my lord, have you seen, what is
Don't
it
pay
called?
me.
Judas and the Black Messiah. I'm sorry. I'm a
Yes.
bubbly
Yes.
person.
Yes.
That movie is so good.
Yes.
Him and Daniel Kaluuya killed that.
But he played in Harder They Fall. See, those roles that he plays is so natural, like it's just like that gutter.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
kind of
mean?
brutish. But then you think
Yeah.
about Darius in Atlanta,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like a quirky, like weird kind of guy. And so you can see he definitely does have range.
He played in it was kind of like a funnier movie, but that range is something that.
Have you seen Death Note? He was this really weird guy. It's a movie called Death Note. A lot of people who actually watch anime don't like it, but I liked it because I like live action. But it was a movie about this anime, and he played this really weird guy that would like sit like on his feet like this, and like he would be like eating, candy all the time. But it was weird. So that kind of showed me his range too. It's older. But
What do you do on your spare time? Like, what does Layla do? To just like, I got a weekend to myself. You know what I'm saying? Or what shows do you watch or are fans of?
I do. When I'm in my free time, I usually am like looking up different scenes from movies and like picking a character and practicing as the character. I love to watch. There's certain actors that I gravitate towards, not necessarily movies. So like I'll go and watch the same 3 scenes from like the movie Little Women and watch the character that Saoirse Ronan plays. And Timothée Chalamet is one of my favorites as well. He's really good. His range is awesome. So I'll like choose, 2 of their characters and like practice as them. Or then I'll go to like a Straight Outta Compton. I love that movie too. And I'll pick one of the characters in there to play and sort of practice as them. But I love to do that in my spare time. And my parents will come downstairs and be like, "You just been on YouTube all day." And I'm like, "I'm working."
I mean, it's tough because it's so many different layers to the TV and film industry. Could you see yourself directing your own movie?
I hope so, 100%. That's what.
But what genre? What would it be? Or would you do movie or series?
Ooh.
Perfect world. If somebody said, "Boom, I want to invest in Layla and give you or fund everything," what would it be?
It would be a movie.
About?
It would be a movie about. I love an ensemble, like a big cast. So it would be an ensemble cast, probably like a dramedy, like a little mix. I love a mystery or a treasure hunt. I love a treasure hunt.
You seen the Onion?
Yes. Oh my gosh, too good. And have you seen Knives Out?
Yes.
Yes.
Too good.
Listen.
I did. I saw both of them.
Too good.
Yeah.
Too good.
It was long. Like, I'm one of them dudes, bro, and I always been like this in class. It's like, go home, read so-and-so, so-and-so. Before reading anything, I like look at, man, it's too much to damn read. I ain't doing that. But I'll read it. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like a movie. As soon as you press play, I said 3 hours or 2.5. Man, I ain't about to watch this. But I eventually watched it. You see what I'm saying? But it was an unbelievable show. What's our girl name? Janelle Monáe did a great job.
Awesome job.
The plot twist.
I was not. Are we giving spoilers? Because like at this point,
You should go and watch it.
you should go watch it.
But
Pause this and go watch it and then come back.
it was so.
The way that she was like, because I was looking at her and I was like, something's wrong, like with this, like what? Early, I was like, why is she? Because I peeped when she stumbled down the steps at that part before they revealed that she had been drinking a lot. She stumbled. I said, why is she stumbling down the steps? And then they revealed that that's why. And I was like, my Lord!
Look at
I
her.
said, look at her!
Mine too.
I said playing 2 roles at once.
Right.
That is really
Brilliance. But
Yeah.
even, like, okay, my last question is this. Like when I watch football, right? A lot of people just think you watch football, what you see on TV, but it's not, right?
Yeah.
I never would have picked up, why did she stumble? You know, the director's purpose for the viewer to see? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, do you pick up on those things as you're watching it and it's like, okay, I see what he's trying to set up. You feel me?
Yeah, I can now, especially now that I've been on a set for so long consecutively. I can kind of pick. One thing that I'm noticing about myself, they do ADR in post-production, which is like the actor will go into a recording booth and they'll record certain lines in case they were like, you know, you couldn't really hear them or understand them. So I can like tell what lines sometimes are ADR, like voiced over, and what lines were actually
It be looking
recorded.
sometimes like a little Japanese or
little-
Chinese
like,
combat martial arts.
They ADR
Yeah,
that.
because the mouth would be like this.
Or
but
they cut away from the
Yeah.
person weirdly and you
Yeah.
can't see them say it and you're like,
I got you.
they ADR that.
Can't pull that job on me.
I see it. I sees right through.
Man, listen, Laila. Appreciate you. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much.
Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your intellect. And as we end things here in Funky Friday, we're gonna start in unison. We're gonna start with this camera right here. Then we're gonna go to this camera right here. Then we're gonna finish off with our camera right there.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Got one finger,
One finger,
one pinky,
one pinky,
one thumb,
one thumb,
one love.
one love, y'all.
Yes, ma'am ski. What you say? My lord.
My Lord.
Boom, group chat. Group pick.
Group chat.
We good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.